you ever felt like prey while you were still just a small child, even when you had a happy life and wonderful parents? It happened to me, and it never really went away. Some memories never leave you. In truth, they never disappear at all. They only learn how to hold their breath. They wait quietly, patiently, as if watching for the right moment to return. You wake suddenly in the middle of the night and feel uneasy without knowing why. Even years later, they come back through small things. A smell you can't recognize, a sound bursting out of emptiness on a deserted street, or the feeling that someone had already marked you as prey long before you realized it yourself. In that moment, you understand that something remembers you. You may not think about the past, but sometimes the past continues thinking about you. I was 13 years old. I didn't consider myself a child anymore, but I wasn't an adult either. I believed I could tell whether people were good or bad. I thought I had more or less figured out how the world worked. Looking back now, I realize that age is actually when a person is most vulnerable. You begin to stop being afraid, but you still haven't learned what you should be afraid of. Until that night, I didn't understand how trust could sometimes leave a child completely unprotected. Now I understand parents who set strict rules far better than I once did. Our neighborhood was always lively. Streets were rarely empty. People were loud, life constantly moving. But our street was different. It ended beside a forest, a quiet dead end. At night, sounds faded, lights grew sparse, and it felt as if the world simply stopped a few steps ahead. Across from our house was an open darkness that felt like a gateway into the unknown. To the left stood a large concrete drainage pit, ordinary during the day, but at night it looked deep and dangerous, like a symbol of darkness itself. The forest path led to a small, charming park. During the day, it felt almost like Disneyland. Children laughing, dogs barking, mothers calling out that the sausages were ready for their families. But when night fell, the same place became unrecognizable. Trees seemed closer together, shadows appeared to move, and the park felt less like a playground and more like a cursed graveyard. I suddenly thought of my dear mother, who passed away 2 years ago. That Sunday evening she came to me cheerfully and told me a fair had been set up near the park. She suggested I go. She trusted me. I loved that trust because it meant freedom. But that night I learned that freedom can also mean no one is there to protect a vulnerable child. I grabbed my flashlight and headed out. When I reached the forest entrance, an unexplained heaviness settled inside me. I suddenly didn't feel like going anymore. I even considered turning back home to watch my favorite comedy show instead. The darkness between the trees looked thicker than usual. I waited a few seconds thinking about going back. Then I laughed at myself and stepped inside. The flashlight beam formed a narrow tunnel ahead of me. Everything beyond it disappeared. The leaves beneath my feet sounded too loud, as if I were walking so someone could hear me. At one point I stopped and checked behind me. Nothing was there, yet the unease didn't fade. It simply continued walking beside me. When I finally saw the fair lights in the distance, relief washed over me. Noise returned. Human voices calm the mind. They convince you that danger dissolves inside crowds. While wandering between stalls, I noticed an old-fashioned ice cream cart standing apart from the others. Its colors were faded, as if it had been there for years. The man behind it slowly rang a small bell. The sound was strange, not cheerful, slow, patient. As I passed, I realized he was watching me. He didn't look away. Most people hide their gaze. He didn't. "That'll melt," he said calmly, nodding toward the ice cream in my hand. His tone felt wrong, familiar somehow, as if he already knew me. I tried to walk away, but he spoke again. "I make special ones," he said softly, "only on special days. I don't show them to everyone." An unexplainable fear rose inside me. There was no threat in his words, yet something about the invitation felt deeply wrong. I nodded politely and disappeared back into the crowd. Soon I forgot about him. The human mind quickly suppresses discomfort when surrounded by noise and people. It wants to feel safe. When the fair began closing, I entered the forest alone again. This time the silence felt almost physical. My ears rang, then I heard a sound behind me. A bell, just once. Slowly I turned. The ice cream vendor stood between the trees. The cart was gone. Only him, and the bell in his hand. His white uniform looked dirty now. "It's quieter now," he said. "A good time to show you my special recipes." My heart began racing. There was no logical explanation. The fair was over. Everyone had left. But he had followed me. "I'm going home," I said. I thought he smiled, though I couldn't clearly see his face. "You might get lost," he said gently. "I can drive you." I started walking away. The bell rang again behind me. Fear filled my head until my vision blurred for a moment. Then came footsteps. I ran. The forest turned into a dark maze. Branches scratched my face, breath tearing from my lungs. But the man behind me wasn't running. He walked steadily, never seeming far away. That was worse. He wasn't in a hurry, as if he believed escape was impossible. "Stop," he called calmly. "You don't need to be afraid." The softness in his voice made my stomach twist. I threw my flashlight behind me and ran toward the distant streetlights. By the time I reached our road, my legs were shaking uncontrollably. I rushed inside and locked the door. I told my mother nothing. That night I couldn't sleep. The house was silent, but my mind was still in the forest. Every small noise sounded like a bell. The next day I returned to find my flashlight. It was gone. In its place stood a single ice cream stick, planted upright in the soil. As if someone knew exactly where I had been. A week later, the news mentioned a traveling vendor suspected of luring children to isolated places. Some children had gone missing. By the time police arrived, the man had vanished. No identity, no records. The fair disappeared quietly as well. Years passed, but I never truly recovered. Even now, I cannot walk at night without checking behind me. Sometimes, even in crowds, I feel watched. Once, in a shopping mall window reflection, I saw a man standing behind me holding something small in his hand. When I turned, he was gone. Time moved on. I grew up, became a teenager, then an adult. I worked in different cities, built a life elsewhere. But nothing ever felt the same again. And some nights, I still hear it. A small bell. And in that moment, I understand something. The most frightening people are not the ones who try to drag you away by force. You shouldn't fear them the most. The real monsters are the ones who wait patiently for you to come closer on your own. Sometimes it crosses my mind while shouting at a baseball game or speaking passionately during an office meeting. I managed to escape that night. But how many children before me didn't stop? And what happened to them?